My father banned me from driving anyone in my car, saying no passengers. If I find out you did, the car's gone for good. A week later, my friend was suffering from hypothermia in school. The nurse said she needs to go home and there's no one to drive her. My father threw a curveball at me. You're not allowed to drive anyone in your car anymore. Just yourself. That's it. I stopped mid-bite. What? Why? Your insurance went up. Gas is expensive. And I don't like the liability of having other kids in the car. You can drive to school, to work, and back home. No passengers. What about emergencies? Call 911. That's what they're for. This isn't a discussion, Andrew. No passengers means no passengers. If I find out you've been driving people around, I'm taking the car away for good. Ever since my older brother James died in a car accident 2 years ago, my parents had become obsessed with eliminating any possible risk. I understood their fear. I really did. But this rule was going to create problems. The biggest problem was Alyssa, my best friend since 5th grade. She'd been getting rides with me every day for 2 years. Her mom worked 2 jobs and left for work at 6 a.m. Without my rides, she'd have to walk 40 minutes each way. I can't drive you anymore, I told her that afternoon, hating every word. My parents made a new rule. Alyssa's face fell, but she nodded. I get it. I'll walk. It's no big deal. But it was a big deal. Alyssa had type 1 diabetes. 40-minute walks in the cold were risky. Her blood sugar could drop dangerously low. For a week, I watched Alyssa walk. She showed up to first period out of breath, sometimes shaky. Once, she had to go to the nurse because her blood sugar had dropped too low during the morning walk. That Thursday, the temperature dropped to 30 degrees with freezing rain. I found Alyssa in the hallway between classes, shivering. Her coat was soaked through. Alyssa, you walked in this? The bus doesn't come near my house. What was I supposed to do? You could have stayed home. She wrapped her arms around herself. I'm fine. By lunch, she was in the nurse's office with early signs of hypothermia. The nurse called her mom, but her mom was an hour away at work and couldn't leave. They called me down because I was her emergency contact after family. She needs to go home and get warm, the nurse said, but we can't reach her mother, and we don't have anyone to drive her. I looked at Alyssa and made a decision. I'll take her. I drove Alyssa home, cranking the heat in my car. She held her hands up to the vents, still shivering. You're going to get in trouble, she said. I don't care. I got her inside her house, made sure she had warm clothes and blankets, checked her blood sugar levels myself. By the time I left, she'd stopped shivering and had some color back in her face. Sure enough, when I got home that afternoon, both parents were waiting. You had a passenger in your car, Dad said. No question, just accusation. Alyssa had hypothermia. The nurse needed someone to drive her home. You could have called us. You were at work. Alyssa needed help immediately, not in an hour. We told you no passengers, no exceptions. Dad held out his hand. Car keys. Now. I placed them in his palm. Fine, but you should know, I'd break it again. Every single time someone I care about needs help. Just then there was a knock at the door. My mom answered it. Mrs. Martinez, Alyssa's mom, stood on our porch, still in her work uniform. I'm sorry to bother you, she said, but I wanted to thank Andrew. The nurse told me what happened, Mrs. Martinez said. How Andrew got Alyssa home when no one else could. How he made sure she was warm and safe. Her voice wavered. Alyssa has type 1 diabetes. The cold affects her blood sugar regulation. If she'd walked home in that condition, with hypothermia setting in, she stopped, wiping her eyes. The doctor said she could have had a severe hypoglycemic episode. She could have collapsed, alone, in the freezing rain. The color drained from my mother's face. I work 2 jobs, Mrs. Martinez continued. I can't always be there when she needs me. Andrew has been driving her to school every day for 2 years. It's not just convenience, it's her safety. Dad sat down heavily. We didn't know. I'm not asking you to break your rules, but I needed you to know that your son probably saved my daughter's life last Thursday, and I'll be grateful for that forever. After she left, my parents sat in silence for a long time. Finally, Dad spoke. We've been so focused on keeping you safe that we forgot to teach you when breaking rules is the right thing to do, I said quietly. James's accident was horrible, but wrapping me in bubble wrap won't bring him back. Mom handed me my car keys. New rule. You can drive Alyssa to school, from school, and in emergencies.